Sitting down here with Bryce Gilmore, 4-star 2026 offensive tackle out of Prosper High School. You and I were talking a little bit before this. I always love to ask players, did you grow up in the high school that you're currently playing at, or are you from somewhere else? And you were telling me that you were actually born in Arizona.
Yeah, I was born in Arizona, but I moved here when I was in first grade to Prosper, and then we've just stayed in this area ever since.
So first grade, that's pretty young. So Did you keep up with Arizona high school football at all when you were younger?
Not as much, but I kind of knew the school that I wanted to go to back then, but I've done forgot it now that I'm here in Prosper.
So moving to Texas and getting a feel for how big Texas high school football really is. I mean, I'm going to go on record and say it. Texas has the best high school football, I think, in the nation.
100%.
It's not even debatable at this point, What were your initial thoughts when you started to really come to the realization that Texas high school football, we do it big here?
Yes, ma'am. My initial thoughts were am I really going to be playing football? Because my mom really wanted me to play basketball because she wanted to keep me away from football, really. So I just had to be okay, I'm gonna grow up playing basketball a little bit. But it was more into eighth grade year, going this summer where Coach Thompson, our O-line coach, he was yeah, you're going to be playing football. You're going to be off.
He saw your size and your potential, and he was like, yeah, you're going to be playing
just come to the early workouts and you'll be fine.
So what did your dad think of that when you decided you wanted to play football? Because he played in the NFL for a couple years, and then after his college career at Midwestern State.
He wanted me to play football, but he also listened to my mom more, and he was like, yeah, I think he should be a basketball player.
You should.
And then when I come back home from that very summer camp, they were like, oh, so you're playing football now? And I'm oh, what a surprise, you should have grew up playing it. It's Texas, because a bunch of these people, they play Pee Wee football, their sons have been playing together since they were really young.
Right.
So it's just going into that and then trying to get the starting spot and then just keep working from there.
Right. Now you're about to enter your senior season at Prosper. You started on varsity as a junior last season, going into your second season. What have you learned the most about yourself as a player, maybe on and off the field, during your time here at Prosper?
I need to work more. What I've learned more is I need to work more on my technique, because last season I was relying on my athleticism solely. I wasn't really doing good as much as I should be in the technique department because I was just rushing everything. And then seeing all these big dudes, I'm okay, this is I'm actually in Texas football now. I'm going up against dudes who are literally D1 and I'm going to be playing against the college level. So just learning to hone in on my technique this season, and that's what I've been doing.
And speaking of big dudes, it seems like Prosper is just a constant powerhouse. They are just constantly putting out big-time linemen. Jake Majors, we got Zayden Crimpin, Jake right behind you there.
Yes, ma'am.
What have you learned? How has Prosper been able to teach you or develop you into this next and upcoming offensive lineman?
How has it developed me is just finding my place in the offensive line room personally. Because going into there, my sophomore year, I'm okay, am I going to be JV varsity or am I just going to be JV? And I was JV varsity, but Coach Thompson decided he wanted to give me reps, which I say was the best decision of my life, because I felt if I just sat down on the bench during a varsity game not getting better, then there would be no point in me being there. So playing JV and then just learning my spot in the offensive line room up today and helping the freshmen and the sophomores just with their technique and their own, and then just teaching them. It's helped me personally and want to be better.
And what do you think, in your own words, makes you a special player? You can talk to me kind of about your strengths and what makes you stand out above the rest?
I say what makes me stand out above the rest is my potential, because I've barely been playing this position. I'm only getting better at it, day by day. And then me just being athletic helps out with that. And I hear it a lot from coaches. They're you're nowhere near your ceiling, And so that's why they want.
It's true, yeah.
That's why they want me, and so they can develop me to get to that ceiling that they see me at. And then me just proving them right. And when they came back, because the Coach Mateos, he was over here during our off-season training, and he was dude, like how much you've just grew in the span of a year is like crazy. And I was like, yeah, thank you. It's
like,
due to our workouts because like
Good Gideons.
during our off-season workouts, we literally have like no breaks at all. Like it's just
That's Texas high school football, though. You know, I mean, you said it before. That's
it gets you ready for college workouts. Is what I say. So
absolutely. If you had to pick one player, it can be currently in college, it can be in the NFL, a retired NFL vet. Who do you model your game after?
Penn State, because it's just like how nasty and athletic he is. You know, like. Yeah. And just his technique alone is just crazy. And that's like, I want to model after him.
Absolutely. Well, that's a great transition. We can start talking about your official visits. You have 40 offers right now, which is incredible. Talk to me a little bit about what that means to you and the opportunities that you have been given.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, I'm truly blessed to have like all 40 of these offers, you know, but I had to cut it down obviously for OVs and unofficials, and I went ahead and just cut it down to 6, which was Vanderbilt, Arkansas, Texas Tech, Penn State, Arizona State, Ole Miss. And
man, you rattled those off like no other. That's awesome.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So we'll kind of go one by one here. I'm going to bring up Penn State first. Talk to me a little bit about what makes the Nittany Lions so special.
Their offensive line coach and just how much linemen are produced over there has really spoke volumes to me. And I know if you're just looking at social media, you think, how did Penn State make it if they only offered him like within a day of him dropping his top 6 or whatever? Mm-hmm. And it's not like that. Like I've known Coach Trotwine like for a long time. You know, he's seen me grow and he's seen me develop, and he was simply evaluating me to see if I deserved and earned that offer, and if I could actually go there and start at Penn State. And that means a lot to me, getting the offer from him alone, and just the overall culture of Penn State is just amazing.
It is. It really is. They seem to recruit heavy down here when it comes to offensive linemen. Very obviously, well deserved. Vanderbilt, we were talking a little bit before the interview. You said that you're actually going to be going up to their spring game, and it's going to be considered an official visit.
Yes, ma'am. I went there up for the spring game. I didn't have an OV locked in yet, but I knew like if I really loved this place, then I'd lock in an OB with them after their spring practice. And I was like, yeah, I want to lock in OB with them, you know, just the way seeing their offensive line get after it. They're just scheming with offensive line, seeing, because they preach unity over there as an offensive line, and they really value that. And like, I'm sitting there in their meeting and they're just like literally a family in there, you know, like I went to their get together up at this burger joint in Nashville, and it was good, obviously.
Hi. But food matters,
yes,
right? The food environment matters.
It does. And then them just including me as a family over there, you know, seeing some of these dudes' sons and daughters, you know, it's just really cool for me to get involved to. And I was like, yeah, this is a place I want to OB at.
Well, I saw too when Vanderbilt came to visit you guys here at Prosper, y'all all took a picture. You, Bryce, Zayden, and Jake. And I think right there that kind of speaks to the family atmosphere that they hold and how close relationships are. So your next official visit, I'm probably going out of order here. I'm just going to list them as we go here, but we'll talk about Ole Miss next. Okay. What makes Mississippi so attractive?
What makes Mississippi so attractive is Coach Garrison. I mean, I just love the dude. I can't even lie. You know, him as offensive line coach, and he's been calling me and stuff, and he was like, dude, once you come up here to our spring practice, you're going to want to commit just based off of the way we run our practices and stuff. I was like, all right, I'll hold you to it, you know? like, because it's just how much love they show me, you know? And then obviously, like, because for me, like, my recruiting process, like, of me knowing when I'm going to cut them down started during the season, because I felt like if they weren't really talking to me as much as they are in the season, and then suddenly they just appear once our season's over and their season's over, and they just start talking to me again, like, constantly, I'm like, how are we building that relationship still? And you wanted me to go there if you're not.
For sure.
It's just the way I am.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely. And Arizona State is another one, and that's probably a little bit special. Hits home close to you because you're from Arizona. Did you grow up watching Arizona State or Arizona?
I grew up watching Arizona State.
Okay, so that makes sense. Talk to me a little bit about the Sun Devils.
I love, like, okay, people, Coach Saga Tutley, and then obviously Coach Ty Barrett and Coach Josh Omura up there. I mean, they really want, like, it's like they're literally my family at this point. Just the way we've communicated, we hung out together and stuff, and then me going back up there for their spring practice. I mean, it's just how close they are to me, you know. And then obviously Coach Thule and Ty Barrett and Omer, they can develop me to get in the NFL. And
Right.
it's just the way I view things. But I mean, that's just Arizona State. Like, that's like my home. You know?
Absolutely.
That's like my
Absolutely.
home besides Texas. But yeah.
And speaking of relationships, you have another official visit scheduled to Texas Tech, and you said
Yes,
you're going to
ma'am.
be up there this weekend for an unofficial. And speaking about relationships, Coach McGuire is great at that.
He
You know,
is.
he's known for building those types of deep relationships. And I know that he was up here in January or February to talk to you guys.
January, yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
What makes the Red Raiders so special in Lubbock?
What makes him special is obviously Coach Lemons, who was our old defensive line coach. And then because he told some colleges about me earlier in my earlier stages when I was still playing JV and stuff, he was like, y'all are going to want to get on this kid. And they did, you know, and them having Ellis and Cardi up there is a big push also for me, you know, because those are like my brothers, you know, and me being with them for my like 2 or 1 year, like that means a lot to me. So
Absolutely.
just having them be at Texas Tech and them telling me how the coaches are up there, how they truly are, it just helps me.
And your final official visit scheduled is Arkansas. And a lot of people think you really like Arkansas.
Yes,
I've
ma'am.
seen
I
some
saw that.
stuff. I've
Yes,
seen
ma'am.
some stuff, so
I
I'm going
saw
to push
that.
you on it. What makes the Razorbacks so special to you?
Coach Mateos, and like he's been watching me ever since I was literally a freshman, and we've just been close, you know. And I guess me going up there and saying that I loved it up there really made people like change my predictions and stuff. But honestly, it's just like I love some Arkansas, you know. So
Yeah.
can't wait to go back up there in OB.
And finally, I wanted to ask you, what is the most important factor that your decision is going to come down to? What are you most looking for in a college before you commit? What is going to be that final straw for you?
Final straw will be the offensive line room in general.
Yeah.
Because that's where I'm going to be at. And also the strength and nutrition program, because, I mean, I'm going to be in the facilities like almost 24/7. Being in my freshman year, graduating early, that's where I'm going to be at. So building that relationship with the strength coach and the offensive line coach and the offensive line room, that will really have me want to commit to a school, because I can't just go to a school and be like a black cat compared to everybody else, you know, because that's not going to help me grow as a player. Because the reason why I grew so quickly is because I bonded with everybody on my team and I wanted to be better for them. So that's what's really made me better as a person and as a football player and as a teammate. So when I commit, that's why I want my reason to be still.
July 3rd is when he makes that official announcement.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, Bryce, thanks so much for the time,
Thank
and
you.
we're all rooting for you here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football.
Thank you.